Cubs fans, take a deep breath. Seriously, put down that old style for just a second and listen up, because what I'm about to tell you will make your heart race faster than a Ryan Sandberg stolen base attempt. The trade deadline is upon us, and our beloved Cubbies are making moves that'll either have you dancing on Clark Street or crying into your deep dish pizza. We're sitting just one game behind those dreaded Brewers in the Central. And let me tell you something, this isn't just another season. This is this season where everything we've been building toward comes together. But here's the thing that's got my stomach in knots. 3 massive developments have unfolded in the last 48 hours that could completely change the trajectory of our October dreams. First, there's whispers about our front office making a bold move for a veteran arm. Someone who was once an all-star but has been through absolute hell with injuries. This isn't just any pickup. This is the kind of gamble that either makes Theo Epstein look like a genius or has us questioning everything. The analytics nerds are going crazy over his underlying numbers, but the injury history? Man, it's scarier than a bases loaded no-out situation in the 9th. Then there's the bullpen situation that's keeping Jed Hoyer up at night. We've got our eyes on not one, but potentially multiple relief arms that could be the difference between watching October baseball from our couches or actually being in October baseball. The names being thrown around have Cubs Twitter absolutely losing their minds, and trust me, that's saying something. But here's where it gets really interesting, and this is where you Cubs faithful need to pay attention, because this could be the plot twist none of us saw coming. There's a third piece to this puzzle that involves some serious prospect capital. The kind of names that have been floating around Iowa Cubs games and making scouts drool. We might be closer to going all in than any of us realized. Hit that like button if you're ready for this emotional roller coaster, and comment below with your trade deadline predictions, because after what I'm about to tell you, everything you thought you knew about this Cubs team is about to change. Don't forget to subscribe, because the next few days are going to be wild for Cubs fans everywhere. So grab your rally cap, Cubs fans, because what happened with our first major move is going to blow your mind and maybe, just maybe, restore your faith in this organization's ability to make the right call when it matters most. Cubs fans, meet your newest pitcher, Michael Soroka. Yeah, that Michael Soroka, the same guy who was an all-star back in 2019 and finished second in Rookie of the Year, voting behind Pete Alonso. The same pitcher who was supposed to be the future ace of the Atlanta Braves before his world came crashing down in the most heartbreaking way possible. Here's what happened, and why this trade has me more emotional than a Game 7 World Series victory. Soroka was Atlanta's opening day starter in 2020. Living the dream every kid from the South Side fantasizes about. Then just 3 games into the season, he tore his right Achilles tendon. Not just a little tear, a complete rupture that would sideline him for the rest of 2020. But that's not even the worst part. When he tried to come back in 2021, he re-tore the same Achilles and missed all of 2021 and 2022. 2 full seasons, Cubs fans. 2 years of wondering if he'd ever pitch again, 2 years of rehabilitation and heartbreak, and probably questioning everything he'd worked for his entire life. This isn't just a baseball story. This is a human story of perseverance that should make every Cubs fan's heart ache with empathy. Fast forward to 2023, his Achilles finally healed, but then forearm issues limited him to just 32 1/3 innings. It's like the baseball gods were testing this kid's resolve at every turn. He bounced around to the White Sox, then signed with Washington for $9 million this past offseason. A prove-it deal if there ever was one. Now here's where it gets interesting for us Cubs faithful. His 3.8 record and 4.87 ERA with the Nationals looks terrible on paper, right? But dig deeper. And this is where our analytics department earned their paychecks. His underlying numbers tell a completely different story. He struck out 87 batters in just 81 innings while walking only 24. His xERA suggests he's been getting unlucky, and his breaking ball values are absolutely elite. What we gave up? Christian Franklin, a 25-year-old outfielder who's been solid but not spectacular in our system, and Ronnie Cruz, an 18-year-old shortstop who's more lottery ticket than sure thing. These aren't names that'll make you lose sleep at night, Cubs fans. But here's what has me excited. Soroka can start and relieve, giving us the flexibility that modern baseball demands. With our defense behind him, instead of Washington's disaster of a fielding unit, this could be the bounce-back story that defines our playoff push. The only downside, he's only signed through this year, so this is a rental. But sometimes, Cubs fans, rentals are exactly what championship teams need. Just ask the 2016 team about Aroldis Chapman. This move tells me one thing: our front office isn't done. This isn't the top of the rotation pitcher with multiple years of control we've been rumored to want. This is the secondary piece, which means the main course is still coming. And that, Cubs faithful, should have you absolutely buzzing with anticipation about what's next. Just when you thought the Cubs were done wheeling and dealing, they pulled another rabbit out of their hat, and this one has serious playoff implications written all over it. Andrew Kittredge is now a Chicago Cub. For those keeping score at home, that's 2 trades in less than 24 hours, and suddenly our bullpen, which has been about as reliable as Wrigley Field's win patterns, just got a major shot in the arm. The 35-year-old right-hander comes to us from Baltimore, and Cubs fans, his postseason resume alone should have you feeling butterflies in your stomach. Here's what makes this move so brilliant. Kittredge has never allowed a run in postseason play. Read that again. 0 earned runs in 4. 1 in innings across playoff appearances with Tampa Bay in 2021 and St. Louis in 2023. When the lights are brightest and the stakes are highest, this man has been absolutely money. His numbers this season with Baltimore are solid. 3.45 ERA in 31 games. But it's his overall track record that should have Cubs fans doing backflips on the red line. Career 3.45 ERA across 8 seasons. 304 strikeouts against just 84 walks in over 315 innings. Those are numbers that scream reliable veteran presence. Exactly what our young relievers need to see in that bullpen. But here's the part that's got me really excited. Remember how shaky we looked against Milwaukee just a few games ago? Remember those late inning meltdowns that had us all reaching for the Malort? Kittredge changes that entire dynamic. He's the kind of veteran who's been in pressure cookers with Tampa Bay and St. Louis, organizations that know how to develop and utilize relief pitching. The timing couldn't be more perfect either. We're sitting just 1 game behind the Brewers. 1 game, Cubs fans, and now we've added 2 proven arms in Michael Soroka and Andrew Kittredge. Our bullpen suddenly looks like it can handle the pressure of meaningful September baseball and, dare I say it, October magic. What makes this even sweeter is that we're facing Baltimore this weekend in a 3-game series. Imagine being an Orioles fan and watching your former reliever potentially shut down your offense while wearing Cubs blue. There's a poetic justice to that scenario that has me grinning from ear to ear. The package we sent to Baltimore hasn't been announced yet, but given the pattern with the Soroka trade, it's likely more prospect capital. The kind of moves that signal our front office is serious about this playoff push. We're not just kicking the tires anymore, Cubs faithful. We're going for it. But wait, because if you think 2 trades in 24 hours is the end of this story, you haven't been paying attention to how aggressive Jed Hoyer has become. There's still one more shoe to drop, and when it does, it might just be the move that puts us over the top in the most dramatic way possible. Cubs fans, what I'm about to tell you might just be the final piece of the puzzle that transforms this team from pretty good to legitimate World Series contender. And it involves names that should make every Twins fan nervous and every Cubs fan absolutely electric with anticipation. We're not just kicking tires anymore. We're among the teams that have officially checked in with Minnesota about their elite bullpen arms. And when I say elite, I mean the kind of relievers that can single-handedly change the trajectory of an entire postseason run. Griffin Jackson or Neil Juan Duran. Write those names down, Cubs faithful, because one or both of them could be wearing our colors before the trade deadline passes. Let's talk about Duran first, because this guy is straight up the top closer available at the deadline. 27 years old, 2.1 ERA, 16 saves in 18 opportunities, and a whip of 1.18. Those aren't just good numbers. Those are shut down the 9th inning in October numbers. This is the kind of closer that turns a good team into a championship team. The missing piece that could finally get us over the hump. But here's where it gets really interesting. We're not the only ones calling. The Dodgers and Blue Jays are also in the mix. which means this is going to come down to who's willing to pay the highest price in prospect capital. And Cubs fans, given what we've already seen with the Soroka and Kittredge trades, it's clear our front office is ready to mortgage some of the future for the present. Jax, meanwhile, has been solid despite a rough outing against Boston. 4.50 ERA and 50 appearance isn't spectacular, but he's proven reliable when it matters. Sometimes you need depth, not just stars, and Jax represents exactly that kind of veteran insurance policy. Here's what has me most excited. The Twins are sellers, which means we're buyers with legitimate currency to spend. After years of building up our farm system, we finally have the prospect depth to make these kinds of moves without completely gutting our future. This is what good organizations do. They recognize their window and they attack it with everything they've got. Think about where we are right now. 1 game behind Milwaukee, with Michael Soroka adding depth to our rotation, Andrew Kittredge solidifying our bullpen, and potentially Griffin Jax or Joan Duran coming in to slam the door shut in the 9th inning. Suddenly, that division title isn't just possible, it's probable. The deadline is in 2 days, Cubs fans. 2 days to find out if this organization is really ready to go all in on what could be a magical season. The pieces are falling into place, the momentum is building, and for the first time in years, I genuinely believe we're building something special at Wrigley Field. So hit that like button one more time. Comment below with which reliever you want to see in Cubs Blue. And don't forget to subscribe, because the next 48 hours are going to determine whether we're watching October baseball from our couches or celebrating in the streets of Chicago. Cubs fans, after everything this organization has put us through, after all the heartbreak and false starts and next years, could this finally be the year where everything comes together? Could this trade deadline be the moment we look back on as the turning point towards something truly special? What do you think, Cubs faithful? Are we finally ready to fly the W when it matters most?